So that jacket is from season 2. Season 2, want to model it? It's Rock the Runway. Still fits like a glove, yeah?
Yeah, actually. I'm surprised.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
It's so tiny.
Yeah. I'm so happy to put it on again. I haven't put it on since the show ended.
Nice.
So, yeah, I wanted to wear it for you guys.
It's very, very nice. Okay, so obviously we have a lot of people, we have a limited amount of time because we have a closing panel after this to show. First of all, let's thank Eliza, Bob, Zach, and everyone involved for creating Conageddon, for creating this space, Mike, Tom, the whole team. I mean, what a incredible weekend. Thank you again.
Hey, I want to say thank you to you, Joe.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you've just rocked it this weekend. I'm so glad. You always have the best questions. You keep it light, keep it cool, and I love you.
Thank you. I love you too.
I also want to thank Tom and Heather and all our volunteers. Thank you guys so much for putting this together. We could not do it without you guys. Love ya. Yeah, let's get this thing
Let's
started.
get this party started. Okay, I'm gonna start with the silliest thing I've done with everybody, which is name this film. You've had a lot of work, you know, in your career, and this is a paragraph, and you're gonna have to name this project. Are you ready?
Oh my
At a private clinic, a young nurse soon discovers that one of the comatose patients is sinister.
Oh my god, Patrick.
Patrick, Evil Awakens. That's literally what it's called.
Evil Awakens.
Evil Awakens. Yes, Patrick, semicolon, Evil Awakens.
Okay,
What
so
the
I
heck
got
was
something
that?
right.
You did.
I forgot about that film. Alright.
Do you remember what your name was?
I think I was just like nurse.
Nurse Panicale.
Oh, I didn't know
You have a
that.
nice Italian last name.
Not in the script. Maybe
And you were with Charles Dance from Game of Thrones, Rachel Griffiths from 6 Feet Under. It was quite the cast.
It was quite the cast.
Was this an Aussie film?
It was.
Okay,
Yeah, it was a recreation of a 1970s Australian horror, which was a huge cult hit, and it also was apparently one of, oh my god, I'm forgetting his name. Who's the weird director that that did oh my god, it is so iconic and I can't remember his name. Thank you. Tarantino. It's one of his favorite weird films that he likes.
Given the description, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
All right, so a lot has changed since our last panel.
Yes.
A lot has changed. Congratulations again on baby Henry.
Thank you.
How has your life, I mean, it's an obvious answer, how has your life changed since you now are a mother?
It's changed a lot. I feel like having Henry, also just, you know, with my best friend who I love more than I can even describe, has just broken me open, you know, like I feel so much love, and I feel like all the stuff that I thought I cared about, that you know, all the negativity that I thought, you know, I was caught up in, it really just falls by the wayside, and he's made me realize what's important, and I just feel so full of love now, and I'm so ready to share it with everyone, you know, like I don't feel closed off anymore, I just feel broken open. Like I've cracked open.
It's very sweet. Yeah, you're like an entirely different woman than when you were before. It's unbelievable. It's so nice to watch someone's growth like that. Y'all have seen it on screen, and also at cons you've seen it off screen. Like Eliza's transformed into this amazing young woman. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
Would you, now with that in mind, let's say you were playing Clark, you know, you have a baby in real life, would you play Clark differently as a mother to Maddie, now knowing what it is to be a mother?
Oh yeah. I thought this about Thumper as well. I was like, that bitch isn't a mom. Like I watched it recently and I was like, I don't believe you, you know, because like now I get it. Yeah, I get it. But I feel like the relationship I formed with Lola and her mom off screen did help me to just, you know, and also being a young actor at her age, I fiercely wanted to protect her from all the stuff that I kind of went through when I was her like 11, 12, 13. you know, there were not so many union rules back then. I was definitely working more hours than I was supposed to. I was happy to do it because I just thought it was the coolest thing in the world, but you know, it is really important for child actors to have a proper childhood, and that was one thing that I wanted to fiercely protect of Lola. And so I think that came across on screen. But yeah, nothing can really like prepare you for being a mum. And then once you are, one thing, this is a little kind of off topic from the question, but one thing that I learned that I didn't know is that once you, like, when you become a mum, there is just this mums club of like, people on the street will be like, anything, like, I'm a mum too, if you need anything, I'm like, I've got you. Like, I live down here, you know, come over, if you know, it's like, that you become part of this secret club I had no idea about, and everyone is so like, just like, we get you girl, like whatever you need, and I'm like, I love this club, I love being a part of this. So
It's nice, a mom's club.
yeah,
That's very nice.
No one tells you that, but
No, of
it's
course
a real thing.
Listen, rather than me go through my questions because they're all silly, let people here for you, and it's the last panel of Conageddon, so why don't y'all line up, there's a microphone there, and it's your time to ask Eliza Taylor.
Okay, I just want one of your silly questions though.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you don't.
Yes.
All right. Well, we'll start and I'll find one.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Hello.
Hello.
How about you?
Oh, good.
Were you dating Bellamy when you were on the 100?
Was I dating Bob?
Yeah.
No.
No.
No, I mean, he was definitely one of my closest friends in the world,
Yeah.
and became like my kind of confidant. Like, I always felt like I could lean on him whenever I was struggling. I went through a lot on that show. I mean, it was, you know, it was basically the whole of my 20s. So, as everyone here knows, like, 20s are hard, and and he was kind of like a guiding star for me. But no, we basically started dating, and then like 2 weeks later got engaged, and then like a month later got married. So it was really, really quick. But it was just one of those like when you know moments, you know. So yeah, no, we didn't date until season 7 when we were married.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. I'm a big fan of Clark and Nyla's relationship. Do you think you could talk more about their relationship and like the effect that Nyla really had on Clark?
Yeah, that's a good. No one asks about that really. I think Nyla taught Clark a lot. I think that she was kind of like a comfort in a really, really tricky time in her life, and she felt very safe with Nyla. And I think that it was a really lovely relationship in the way that they didn't have to be an item, they didn't have to declare it as anything but giving each other comfort, and that didn't really go away. Even if they weren't sleeping together, they were still supporting one another, and I really like that. I like that there were no labels, nothing, it was just, you know, happenstance and 2 women who were supporting each other.
Thank you. I loved it.
Yeah.
And how great was acting with Jess Harmon?
I fucking love Jess Harmon.
She's hilarious.
She is hilarious, and she's such an incredible director as well. Like, oh, to be directed by her, it was really amazing to see her step into that role.
Nice.
Hi, Eliza. So, my husband and I are celebrating our first year anniversary in October.
I know.
With you and Bob now, like, traveling so much and everything, what we've been struggling with is finding our own time to rekindle that relationship again. Any pointers or anything like that?
Yeah, you know what? The best thing that I've learned about being apart, which is really hard, is the pain that you find in missing them is actually, it makes you realize how much you love them. And I think it is really, it's almost important to have those moments away from each other to go, oh my God, all those little things that we thought we were fighting about, it just doesn't matter, I just fucking miss you because you're my best friend, you know? And we were talking about this the other day, like when we saw each other again and we hadn't seen each other in 2 or 3 weeks. And it was just like, you know, it is uncomfortable to miss someone so much and to rely on them so much and then to have that taken away, but at the same time, it is just a reminder of how special your relationship is and how much you love each other. So I hope that helps.
Thank you.
Hey Eliza, I don't have a question, I just want to say thank you. When I started watching The 100, I hadn't really come to terms and accepted the fact that I was bisexual, and Clark really helped with that. So I just want to thank you for bringing representation to a community that doesn't see a lot in media.
It is my pleasure, and thank you for sharing that. It's my sister's bisexual, and she was also, she was the same. She was like, why do we get a bad rep? It doesn't make any sense. You love who you love, and I just think that that's wonderful that Clark could help in some small way, and that I could be a part of that. That means the world to me. So thank you.
It means the world to me. So thank you. Good books lately?
Have I read any good books? Guys, look. I'm reading Sherbert's Silly Farm. That's my main read right now, which is a very short children's book for my son. But the last book I read was How to Stay Alive by Matt Haig, and it was a book that Bob had read, and it really meant a lot to him, so I wanted to read it, especially with his mental health journey. It was something that, it was really important that we were speaking the same language, and that I could assist him in any way, shape or form in how he was going about that. So I read that, and I actually adored it, and I'm rereading it right now. Another great book is The Alchemist, which Deechan and I bonded over in London, and that was one of my favorites from years ago, which is a great book, and it's just about having hope, and it's a funny little tale. It's hard to follow, but I love it. So there you go.
Thank you.
And I don't really read anything but children's books now.
So I know recently you've been directing more, and so as an aspiring director, writer, hopefully showrunner, I'm already taking notes on what not to do. But I wanted to know if you had any advice on not only becoming a director or just being, what tips and tricks you use when directing. I asked Bob the same question, and he said to take acting classes so you could know how to direct actors and having a little background knowledge.
That's smart. When I was supposed to direct The 100, and I didn't, and I had miscarried, so I was in a bit of a weird emotional place, but I think I also used that as an excuse not to, because I was so scared. And that's the first time I'm saying that publicly. But in hindsight, I think that I was just terrified of letting people down and of not doing it well enough. What I learned when I did direct, when I started directing music videos, was that I totally had it and I could have done it, and I just needed to trust myself. I think there's something really important about having faith in your own ability and your own and conviction in like what the story's about, the story you want to tell and how you want to tell it. So I would say, even when people ask you questions and you don't know the answer, go with your gut and just say it right away. Don't even think twice about it, because generally your gut is right, and that's how you're gonna get your vision across. People might be like, do you want the lens, we were using a Steadicam at one point, and they were like, do you want it high or low? And I didn't even really know what that meant, but it was really important because it takes a long time to rebalance a Steady camera from low to high. And I was like, low. And I'm so glad I said that. I didn't know what I was saying, but I got some of my best shots from that. And it's just one of those things where you kind of fake it till you make it and go with your gut, and you're gonna be great. And that was my journey with directing, and I'm so glad that I did it, and I can't wait to do more.
Thank you so much. It really means a lot to me.
No worries. And good luck.
Thank you.
Also, don't micromanage. Nobody likes that guy. Okay.
Hi, Eliza.
Hi.
I have two questions, if that's okay.
Sure.
So the first one is about something that goes from season 3, from that infamous episode, to season 7. So in that episode of season 3, there was a line that Clark said. It was, maybe one day you and I will go nothing more to our people, to Lexa. So having had the flame from season 3 with no commander until Maddie, very briefly, survived all the way until season 7. And then that quote for me felt like it was a window to Clark and Lexa's future. And that last episode of season 7 was literally that. They owed nothing more to their people. So I wonder if in the script or in the plot or in some way there was a thought of that being the ending of Clark and Lexa, because
I hope so, because that was beautiful what you just said. Yeah, no, I if there was, I didn't hear about it, but the writers are so thoughtful in the way that they, think about these things, and most of the time. But yeah, I'd actually forgotten about that line. That was a really beautiful line, and something that I really hoped for Clark would come to eventuation. Is that the word?
Sure.
Fruition! Ignore what I just said. It's been a long day. But yeah, no, I really, I really like that, and I hope that there was that connection. Because even though like the embodiment of Lexa wasn't technically Lexa, I think that I played it as if it really was her. I don't know how you guys felt watching that. Weird. Okay.
it was incredibly well played. It could have been more.
It was well played. Thank you, David. Thank you. Yeah. But yeah, that was a deep question, and I don't know if I've answered it well, but thank you.
Thank you. My second question is a little bit more lighthearted.
Great.
What is the oddest item or thing you have signed?
What is the oddest thing I've ever signed? There's been a few weird ones. I've signed body parts. I've signed a lot of skin. I signed someone's boobs once, and I just felt like that was a real rock star moment for me. I was like, really? I felt honored, because that's that's a very special part of a woman, and she wanted my signature right there, so I said, absolutely.
A lot of people have your handwriting tattooed. They've asked you at cons to write messages.
So this happens a lot, and actually, I don't know if you're here. Who got tattooed today or last night? I can't
Did you write something yesterday they got tattooed?
Yes, correct.
Oh, wow. Show yourself. Show you.
Maybe they're not here right now.
Okay.
But I wrote. She was like, "What's something that will make me smile, really make me feel empowered?" And I wrote, "You got this, bitch." And then today I got to see it on her arm, and I was like, "Oh, that's the best." But it's so cool, and scary when people ask me to write things for tattoos. I just that's a PSA, because I get very nervous, and my handwriting can get shaky, because it's a big deal.
It's only forever.
It's only forever. You're putting that stuff on your body forever. So I do a lot of that, and I've seen a lot of my handwriting tattooed on people, and also my face.
Yes,
Brooke.
There it is.
There she is. And that's a beautiful tattoo, by the way. I think everybody has been commenting on that all weekend. It's incredible. So well done, and thank you for having me on your body. I hope I don't let you down.
Thank you.
Thank you.
wants you to tattoo, it says autograph her tattoo so she can get a tattoo.
What?
She wants you to autograph it on her arm so she
Oh.
can get a tattoo.
Okay, great, yeah, okay.
Hi, so you're wearing your season 2 jacket, so one of the moments that I think Clark owned the most was when she told her mom off. In season 2, I was wondering if you would repeat that quote for us. It's, you may be the chancellor, but I'm in charge.
Commander. No chancellor, you're right.
You may be the chancellor, but I'm in charge. But you know what, the party last night actually helped me a lot with my Clark voice, so thank you guys.
Hi, Eliza. Hi. I was just wondering, what was it like filming the season 3 finale with Eric and Sarah? Because at one point you're talking to both Becca and Allie, so I was wondering how it was like filming that experience, and also what was it like working with her in general.
First of all, Erica Sarah is amazing. I really love that woman a lot. I think that she's so genuine and also ballsy. She just says whatever she's thinking, and she really stands by it, and she's got a lot of conviction, and I like that about her. You know, we've had a few conversations via Instagram chat recently, and I'm like, this woman, she's so direct and so lovely. But she, working with her on that in particular episode was really, it was long. It was tough because she was playing, and all of her stuff, by the way, she would always have to be, we would have to film every scene with her and then without her, and then when she was playing both hers, it was crazy, but it was really, really amazing, and I love that scene, I love that whole finale, let's be honest, that is one of the, season 3 for me was a little too much torture for me, I'm not into that sort of thing, but the finale I loved, and I loved that that whole Lexa, Dream World what was it called?
City of Light.
City of Light. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, guys. The City of Light. That whole thing was just so incredible to film. Some of my best memories was doing that, and then pushing through that door and then coming into the lab and having that moment. And that's where you don't ease pain, you overcome it came from, which is one of my favorite lines. And but anyway, long story short, or long story long, I loved working with her, and that scene was a great one to film.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello. My question, if you had never gotten into acting, what do you see yourself doing as a career? What would you be doing right now?
I think teaching. I love working with kids. You're shaking your head.
April's a teacher.
Oh, you're don't do it. I taught drama for a little while in between jobs, and I did accent coaching. I love doing all that sort of thing, and but working with kids in general just makes me really happy. And even though it is very challenging, April, it is it's something that I think that I would have pursued. But it's so hard to say because I was 11 when I started acting, and I haven't stopped since. I mean, I stopped momentarily to be a barista and to bartend, but I don't want that to parallel me. I loved it, but there's a lot. I had a lot of bad bosses when I was doing that. Poor. Any baristas or bar staff in the house know what I'm talking about. There's some shitty bosses in that industry, in the hospitality industry, and also some shitty customers. And you have to work so hard to please people all day, and still some people are just not satisfied. And you're God damn it! I've been doing this for 12 hours, so it's tough. And My answer was teaching.
So my question to you is, it doesn't have to be the 100 or anything along those lines. Is there any film, TV show, or even a specific episode that you would have been a part of that you would go out of your way to watch again? And conversely, is there any of those where you would never touch it ever again?
Say that again.
Is there any movie, TV show, or a specific episode of a TV show that you would go out of your way to rewatch that you were in?
Right.
Conversely, is there anything that you would never watch?
Yeah, gotcha. Yes and yes. I would probably struggle to watch Neighbours again because it was, it was 3 years of my life when I was like, I went through puberty on that show. That's a really awkward time for someone to be in the public eye. I was like, I think that being a teenager and being on screen and also just being around, I didn't get to go to high school. I didn't get to kind of have that normal teenage experience, which I really, I think affected me. Now, when I look back, I think affected me a little bit. I think watching that now would be a little bit tough. But one thing that I do watch often is the Christmas Inheritance. It just makes me happy. It makes me I'm like, that was such a nice time. And it was my first time doing something light and fun.
Well, it was in the middle of the 100, so like, oh my god, she gets to be clean and happy.
Yeah, so there you go.
Thank you.
Hi, Eliza. So during the panel you had with Thomas, someone kind of had, the two of you were talking about how he has never seen the show beyond, his own part in it.
Yeah.
And you were joking about talking about maybe watching it together at some point. And someone suggested maybe doing a podcast. And I was just curious if that was a serious possibility. And if so, what would that potentially look like?
I wouldn't rule it out, but I think that there's not enough time has passed. I would want to do it maybe 10 years from the finale, or so we've got a few years yet. But no, I would love to do something like that. I started listening to the New Girl podcast, and that's because I love that show so much. And that got me into podcasts, and now I listen to so many, and I'm totally a podcast nerd now. So yeah, I would love to do that, to be able to rehash each episode, or the Office Ladies podcast as well. They do it so well, and yeah, I mean, I'm not ruling it out. No way. Oh, Mike, I thought you had a question. I was excited.
Hi. Could you say maybe life should be about more than just your mind and your
Do you want maybe or just life? Because I write both a lot, so I wasn't sure. Maybe life should be more. No. Nope. Maybe life should be about more than just surviving. Is that all right?
It's great.
Okay. It's been a while, and I always struggle saying surviving in the American accent,
Right.
Just so you know. Surviving.
So Eliza, I have 2 questions. Who is your favorite Sailor Scout from Sailor Moon? And then which cat is your favorite, Luna or Artemis?
Okay, look, I need to establish something here for a second. I haven't watched Sailor Moon since I was tiny, teeny. It was my favorite show. So, and I've tried to answer cool, I've tried to make it cooler, but Sailor Moon was my favorite. And Luna. And that's probably not what anyone wants to hear. They probably want to hear Sailor Jupiter or Sailor Mars. Yeah, see, I know.
No, I agree with the Sailor Moon part. I have a tattoo of Sailor Moon and the cats. So
Oh, there you go. Okay, good.
So thank you.
No worries.
Hello.
So now that all 7 seasons are done, what do you think the hardest thing was that Clark had to overcome?
Oh.
I know, there's a lot.
It's so hard because she lost her father, she lost her mother, not in that order, well, in that order, but like there's a lot in between. She lost Maddie, she lost Bellamy, she lost Lexa, she lost, Finn. I mean, I think like from the way that the show, the direction it went, like, she definitely had the hardest time overcoming Lex's death, I think, because she carried her with her everywhere in a little box. Didn't she? Like until, she buried it in season 7.
It was like a tin.
A tin, it was a tin. She carried the flame around with her everywhere, and she never ever got over it. She couldn't let go, and that was really beautiful, but really sad as well. I wish she could have, put her to rest in some way that she felt comfortable with. But I don't think that ever really happened. Yeah.
Thank you.
No worries.
Yeah. In the Bob one, I just wanted you to know, season 7, the acting was incredible. It was the writing. Yeah. Your performances were incredible.
Thank you.
But now to the hardest question of the day. How did Bowie and Panda take to Henry?
That is a hard question. Really well. Better than I expected. I was so stressed out about bringing Henry home for the first time to them. I wasn't sure how it was going to go, and they were very, well, firstly, Bob brought home his hat from the hospital, his little cap that he wore when he was first born, so that the dogs could smell it and get to know his scent, which is something that they advise you do on the interwebs. And so he came home, and they weren't, they had a little sniff, and Bowie was not interested. He was like, who is this guy? Yeah, and then Panda just wanted to play with him and lick his face all over, and we were like, not yet, Panda. Panda really wants to play with him and thinks that he's just a very small adult that can throw the ball. Because Panda loves ball. Everybody knows it. So, every time we stand him up on his little tootsies, Panda thinks he's grown up and he can throw the ball now. It's so funny. And she just puts it in front of him, drops it out of her mouth, and then noses it towards him, towards his feet. And sometimes he'll accidentally kick it. And she's like, it's on! And I'm like, no, Panda, not yet. And Bowie just pretty much pretends he doesn't exist until someone comes to the house, and then he's fiercely protective. So, yeah. Doesn't give him much time. But the thing is, Henry's obsessed with Bowie. And he won't even look at him. It's the saddest thing. I'm like, Bowie, look at him! Bowie's like,
wait till you try to do the Christmas pictures with the dogs and baby.
Oh, it's gonna be a nightmare. Yeah. Bowie's always a nightmare to shoot. He's like Bigfoot, he's always blurry.
She's back.
Hey!
I just been quite short only.
Chelsea has a question.
Thank you for crashing my panel. You're not crashing?
Mike.
That's on?
Mine's dead.
Thanks, Eliza.
Thank you.
All right, so going back to the last again, all the other actors said was how much they were marveling at your work during season 6 and how much work you were putting in for the whole Clark Josephine thing, and you had said it was the biggest acting challenge of your life coming up, and this is before any of us had seen it. Sorry, I waited 3 years to ask you this. How do you feel about that? Were you happy with how it came out? Do you think you rose to the challenge? I mean,
I'm pretty proud of it, actually. I was really stoked for the challenge. I welcomed it. I thought it was a very exciting yeah, I thought it was like going to be one of the hardest things that I would have done so far. And it was really, it made me so diligent about where I was in my script, who I was, because I was changing from moment to moment between the two, and that was really, really exciting. And yeah, I'm happy, I'm really happy with how it turned out. Like, and I, like a lot of the actors during that season were like, we've never seen you like smile like this or have this much fun. I was like, it's Josephine, baby. So it was just like, I loosened up a whole lot, because I was always like, I'm number one, I've got to be like this all the time, like serious. I didn't joke around with people, I was very serious on set. And then season 6 came along and I was like, I'm a bit cheeky now, I'm a bit of fun, you know? It was really cool, and it changed my demeanor as an actor. And that, I'm really grateful for that.
Well, I'm glad you were proud of it. You were never better.
Oh, thank you.
Nice.
Thank you. Hey, Troy.
So we spoke about 2016 being your first time for the 100. What was that like for you?
Okay, Miami?
Yes.
Yeah, so Troy and I got a photo with Bob back in, when was it?
2016.
2016, that was my first convention. I thought it was insane. What was the name of that convention?
Supercon.
Supercon. So there were a whole lot of other actors there. Some people who've been doing cons for like, the guy who does the Mario voice, he was there, and all he did was go like, hee hee, Mario. And I was like, you don't have to do that for me. And it's like, it's all I do. It was just so bizarre. I met so many cool people that, you know, from shows that I'd watched when I was a kid, and it was a really bizarre experience though. Like I didn't quite understand what a con was, and I just felt like so, like kind of just shuffled along from place to place. Like, you're doing this now, you're doing that. And no one really kind of prepared me for what it was. And so I was a bit of a deer in the headlights at that convention. But now, clearly, I know how they work. And I've enjoyed them more since.
So in the second half of it, sort of related, but at what point did you realize that the show itself was developing such a following that people really, really liked the show?
Oh. That's a good question, because I feel like season 1 we shot without, you know, like we didn't know if it was going to be a yay or a nay from the public, because it wasn't on air yet. Once that aired, it didn't like really explode or anything, and we weren't sure if we were going to get a season 2. You know, the network, I don't know that, like they had much bigger shows at that time. They had Supernatural, you know, like that was kind of like the pinnacle of CW at that moment. If I'm forgetting any, I'm sorry. But I remember that being like, we wouldn't, I just felt like, oh, we're never going to be like that. You know, we're never going to be, or like have the following of Gossip Girl or something like that. It was just such a different show for this network. It was a lot darker. It was a lot kind of more extreme in a lot of ways. But then I think it wasn't until like maybe 3 years later that we really started seeing people go like, whoa, what is this thing?
For sure.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's my answer.
Chelsea, hi. I'm Chelsea, I'm a big fan. I'm kind of nervous right now. I'm actually not nervous, but I have nothing planned except I just want to know, on the 100, like, who was your favorite to kiss, or would you have preferred it be me?
Great question.
I have been thinking of it for the last 45 minutes.
Well, I'm just going to put your mind at ease here, and I'm going to tell you that a Clark Harper kiss would have been banging.
Yes!
Great.
I'm just going to put your mind at ease. It's a
fucking hot.
But can you answer the actual question? Who was the fun to kiss on the 100?
Alicia.
Okay.
Because she was so nervous. It was so cute. You know, I was talking about this in my I think yesterday, and we were talking about that first scene where they kiss, and Alicia was like, I've always played like the damsel in distress, or like the girl who's like been kissed. I've never been the kisser. And because like we don't get, or we didn't used to get much opportunity to be that assertive one in your kind of typical rom-com or film. It's like, it's usually a guy who makes the first move, and in this she was the boss, and she was like, I don't know if I can do this right, and I was like, you absolutely can, let's go. And she did.
She did.
She was great.
She was great. Oh, last question, then we have a little surprise we're gonna do.
Oh, it's not a question, but I heard you were talking about my tattoo, so I wanted to.
Oh yes, there it is!
Brand new tattoo.
The tattoo! Yes.
Very nice.
Thank you for coming up.
You're welcome.
Let's do this now.
No, let's, yeah, okay. So, I wanted to give my jacket to someone. This is the season 2 jacket of Clark's, and it's not going to do any good hanging in my closet, so I wanted to give it to someone very special. I've got so many. Okay, I was like, hang on a second, there's so much writing on this. There is a woman here who lost her daughter recently and suddenly, and I heard your story, and I really, mum to mum, I can't imagine what you've just gone through, and I heard that the 100 was your happy place with your daughter. Tracy, are you here? Is she not here? Tracy?
Okay, we'll make sure you get
Oh no, she's not here.
Tracy's not here. And?
Is her friend here?
There's a name on there.
Oh. Amanda? No. Isabel. Isabel, are you here? Nobody's here? Okay, well this is dedicated to Tracy. She's been so amazing this weekend. I really wanted to give this to her.
That's very thoughtful.
Yeah, so
thank you so much.